Hey, Washington's got a new bestseller coming out now, and it's called the U.S. Budget 2017. Now you're thinking, why do I want to know this shit, right? Well, you probably don't. You don't want to get on the weeds like everybody else here in Washington is, and they'll blow wind about this thing for months and months and months, and people will be complaining and crying budget cuts and all this kind of stuff every year that this happens when the budget comes out. And that's why it's good to just get a perspective on what's going on, so you could plan your life accordingly. Because so many times we have misinformation in our heads and we make decisions based on it. Oh, there's budget cuts, and everybody talks about that. So you think that's real, but it's just some windbag, complaining about maybe the future. Well, here's some facts you got to look at. Okay, the total U.S. budget. Now here's a graph of the total U.S. budget from 2000. The year 2000. So we got 17 years here. You see, every year it goes up. No matter what administration, no matter who's in power, it just means about how much. Actually, back a few years ago, it was going down a little bit, it kept going up again, okay? So it grows no matter who's in town. So that's what you got to remember. Okay, now look at this set of data here. Look at how much of this budget, okay, the budget now, look at this graph here, and it shows you, look at down the 2017 bottom line here, the estimate for the total budget, $4.1 trillion. I don't know what a trillion is. You don't know what a trillion is. Maybe that's what's going to be nice. If Trump gets in, he'll know what a trillion is. Nobody in town knows what it is, just a lot of money. Okay, so that's what it is. $4.1 trillion. But look how much goes to people. Individuals like you and I. This is money that the government takes from taxpayers and gives to individuals. $2.9 trillion. So that's almost $3 trillion from the $4 trillion. 70% of all the money that the federal government is taking in is being washed and given back as clean money to individuals. That's right. So it's coming back in cash. Not projects and things. No, this is cash just laying out for you in cash. This is the cash money. Okay, now here's another chart I put together. How much of that cash money is coming out to every household? Okay, here's a chart for the last 3 years that shows you. Okay, like in 2015, last year, it was an average of $19,813. That's how much they give out in cash to every household, an average, okay? This year, it's going to be $21,012. So it's increase, $200-300 from last year. Next year it's going to increase even more, about $500-700 a piece. So that's $21,736 in cash money as an average to households in the United States, because there's about 134 million households, and they're giving out almost $3 trillion. Okay, that's what it comes to. Now people say, okay, if they're giving money out to people, that's in grants. No. See, that's another thing, a misinformation that people have. Think all government all free money from the government is in grants. No, look at this pie chart I made. This is the amount of free money that goes to individuals. Okay, so this is what's going to be given out just this year, 2016. Okay, this is the $21,000 that's given out. Okay, look at this. Only 17% is in form of grants. 83% is in the form of direct payments. That's why when you're going to the government and you're asking for a grant, you're missing 83% of the money. And that's what we don't realize. So, like a lot of people saying, okay, if you're looking for financial assistance or need help, and somebody says the government is disappearing, man, no. For every family, they're giving out like an extra $400 or $500 this year. And I don't know why, because we're broke, but this is reality. This is what's going on. And people don't know that, and so they won't look, or you won't take an opportunity to do that. And that's why the fat cats are in here. They're buying up this budget. This book, it's a bestseller in town because they know all the fat cats are in town, looking at this budget, pulling it apart. You got $4 trillion going out. So all these people, big corporations, interest groups, that represent these rich folks, they're combing through this. Where's the pennies? So that's why you too. And a lot of this stuff goes to the state level, local level, and things like that. And if you look a little closer at the budget, where we're spending all this money, look at this. This is where most of the money goes. Now, we just said that almost $3 of the $4 trillion is going to individuals. So look at this chart. Look at the top number there for national defense. That's $600 billion for national defense. Now, $3 trillion or 2.9 trillion is going to individuals. It's Social Security, income security, Medicare, health, education and training, veterans benefits, all that kind of stuff, is going. And what's interesting in that chart, if you look down a little more about where the money is going, so when you take the money to individuals, which is almost $3 trillion, you add in defense, that's now $3.5 trillion, and there's only $4 trillion. So that's only $500 billion left for all the rest of the government. So that's like $26 billion, 26% or something like that. Am I right? No, maybe my math is wrong. But it's $500 billion of that money going out. So that's 20% or somewhere like that. That is just running the government. Most of it is defense, which is a very small part, and then it's all this to individuals, almost $3 trillion. So that's the whole thing. You want to know about this? There's a neat website, govinfo.gov. And that's a pretty good website. So govinfo.gov, and you'll see on the front page there the budget. You want to get in the weeds more of this, but don't let any headline stop you from thinking, oh, I need money for this, or I'm hurting for this, or I want to start a business and there's no more money. Everybody says the budget. That's nonsense. That's just wind coming out of Washington. The reality is, no matter what happens, more money is given out every year. It's one of our problems, but it happened. It's reality. So don't forget, the government is like a third of everything in our country. So if you want to ignore the government, that's fine, but you're ignoring a third. To me, that's sort of like, hey, I want to go from Washington, D.C. to New York. I'm just going to ignore the expressways because I hate them. It'll just take me a lot longer to get there. So like it or not, these are tools in society that are available, if you want to use it. So make sure you know reality. It could help you. I'm reading a great book now called The Originals, and the subtitle is How Nonconformists Move the World. But aside from the title or whatever, there's great data in here. What I hate of those books, that just have anecdotes, and things like this. I want data, scientific evidence as much as I can, because even that's not good stuff to make a decision on, but it gives you better insight. And this guy really is talking about how if you want to succeed in business, it's better to keep your day job. Right. That's something that completely is against my beliefs anyway. I thought, boy, you want to do something, you have to jump in full steam and whatever, and things like that. To have a big commitment. And actually, the reverse gives you a greater chance of success. Now listen to this data. He talks about, there's two professors at the University of Madison, University of Wisconsin, that did a study of entrepreneurs from 1994 to 2008. And all those people that started businesses there, those that kept their day jobs had a greater chance of success. Than those that they had like a 33% less likely to fail if you kept your day job. And that sort of makes sense, because I think what happens is, you have an idea to do something, and actually your first way to do it probably doesn't work. So when you find out that doesn't work and you don't have anything to fall back on, you're probably screwed, right? I'm never going to start another business again, right? So that's why keeping your day job until you really find out is a way to get through those humps, I think. Because if that first thing you have in your mind doesn't work and you left everything in a way to make money and you're really screwed after it doesn't work, then you'll say, I'll never do that again. And yeah, that's not realistic. So that's why here, look at Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. You know those two Steves? They started Apple, back in the 70s, in 1977. Well, when they got some venture capital money, you see, Steve Wozniak was working for Hewlett-Packard, and he was going to retire from there. These were two kids tinkering in their garage kind of thing, And he was going to retire. He was going to keep his day job. Yeah, and he had to be talked out of it by Steve Jobs. That's what it was. And he dragged along and until they got like $250,000 from somebody, helped invest in them, and they finally, jumped and went to it. Or actually, another Phil Knight. Now that's the guy who started Nike. Now he was an accountant. He was like a a college athlete, runner, and stuff like that. Very good. But he was selling shoes out of his trunk for 5 years while he was still an accountant before he went full time. See? Keeping your day job. How about the two guys who started Google? Okay. Now they were PhD candidates at Stanford in 1996. And they didn't leave that. They started their business, Google, in 1996. They stayed working as PhDs until 1998 for 2 years because they were so afraid of losing the security. And it didn't hurt their business. It kept them going. And actually, they were so upset at one time, they were trying to sell the business because it was keeping them away from their research that they thought they really should do in life. And the deal went through. Somebody was going to buy their company for like $2 million, and before they were working at it full time, and the deal fell through. And said, "Wow, now they're the biggest company in the world, or whatever." See, they were keeping their day jobs. So don't think that when you start a business, that you have to keep, you have to jump in there full time and whatever. Like actually the I think there are four young people who started the new eyeglass place called Warby Parker, W-A-R-B-Y Parker, P-A-R-K-E-R. They're the first really to sell eyeglasses online, not in stores, retails, and doctors, and all this kind of stuff. And they're like the first billion-dollar business. And they just started in 2010, 5 years ago, and became a billion-dollar business. Well, they were all students doing research work. They didn't give up their internships while they were starting this and everything, doing all this kind of stuff. Had other jobs, that was really that they thought they were in the careers for while they started this. And this turned out to a billion-dollar company. See, that's why I think it's instructive, that it's so hard to start and you fail so much that it's important that you have a backup plan somehow. There's other ways to create income, being an Uber driver, whatever you want to be, to make extra money to keep life and soul together. That's another thing about the internet. But don't worry about keeping your day job. You're still an entrepreneur. It may take you a few years. I mean, Stephen King, I was just reading in this book too, that he stayed, years and years. He worked as a teacher, janitor, and gas station attendant for 7 years after starting his writing career. Kept his day job. Yeah. So it's okay to keep your day job. Don't feel like a failure or you're not committed. Man, no, you're probably smart, because this data show you are smart, because you're going to have a greater chance of success, because you got to go through a lot of stuff to get success in a new field. And that way you have a cushion to do that. So, you want to be a success as an entrepreneur? Well, don't quit your day job and you got a better chance at it. Okay, now here's an inspiring story, that we all could learn from. I know I did. It's a wonderful woman. She's down in Georgia that I interviewed her, and she was, she never finished college. She had some college training, but not much, it sounds like. And she was trying to get a job, and she got some training course to do something in pharmacies, and she had this boring job, that she really didn't like, and it was keep keying in data about prescription drugs or something for an online company. But it was dreadful going to work every day. But she knew she had to support herself, and this was a responsibility or whatever. And we all get in those situations, and couldn't see a better option until she started thinking about creating one herself. That's right. Most of us go around looking for jobs. We can't find the perfect job, or we get there in a couple of months and it's not like we thought it was. And it felt more like jail than a job. Now, she started working part-time while she was still working, and she started a store on Etsy, E-T-S-Y. This is a website and a platform where you could start a business for like 20 cents. That's all. And she had some artistic bent she felt and wanted to make candles, and she loved that idea. So she worked at this for about 6 months, just part-time, because within 6 months she was able to quit her job. Now, isn't that phenomenal? I mean, I think that is, sure, it didn't happen overnight. The things I used to get my infomercial, people would come on, I got this book, and by Tuesday I was a millionaire. Things don't happen like that. I mean, it happens, you could find them, and I'll put them in my infomercial, but most of us have to work at things. And that's what she did. But you see the joy in her face. And when this interview, she was on her way to get married in Las Vegas. Not to somebody she met in Las Vegas, but a friend that she's known for some time, on her way. And she said, I'm taking my business with me, all in my laptop, and I could do there. She got on not only Etsy, but Amazon. And see, all these things cost nothing to do. And she didn't have money or how to do it, but she figured it out. She trained herself. She didn't have a business degree or anything. And that's what's so wonderful about, I think, the internet nowadays. These platforms make all the business stuff so much easier. You still have to hustle out there. You still have to find customers, but you don't have to worry about accounting. You don't have to worry about, collecting money and all this kind of stuff that they take care of. And they take a small percentage. So, man, I think there's no excuse not to do something like this. So watch what she did, how she did it. You want to buy something from the site, fine, a wonderful person. But really, it's the inspiration, what we can all do. We don't have to be tied to something that we don't like every day. Oh, that hurts me when I hear people doing that. So watch this. Well, Tiana Perry with windingwickcandle.com. And you were saying a year ago you were in this miserable job just typing stuff for prescription drugs or whatever. And it felt like jail in this cubicle and this quota to make every day. But you were playing around on Etsy, weren't you? Yeah, and looking for stuff and say, hey, why don't I put my own business on there, right?
It was just kind of just a moment where I was just done with kind of the 9 to 5 thing, and I was just trying to think of things that I could do. And with like e-commerce, it's really possible nowadays to just do what you want.
And so you like candles, right? So you decided, hey, I'll do this, and you didn't have a lot of money, so you didn't have the thousands and thousands of dollars investment or whatever, and because the platforms make that easy, and you don't even have like tons of years of education. I mean, you just didn't even like college and didn't finish it, and just wanted to do stuff and be creative, didn't you?
Yeah. In high school, I just remember spending hours and hours on Photoshop, just doing things like that. And like you said, I didn't finish college. I didn't have a business degree or anything, but with the internet, you can learn, as you go and things like that. And I just took the creativity that from Photoshop and just kind of said, oh, I can create, something fun and unique. So.
So you said maybe a few $100s for the first couple of products, put them on Etsy, and now you're on Amazon too. Right. And you said this Christmas you didn't even make enough stuff to sell. The business is booming,
And it sounds like it's all because of these platforms.
It really is. Like with Etsy, it was kind of trickling in and things like that. But like a week after I quit my day job, Amazon just popped up and I was just like, whoa, this is new. And so I just signed up and I was approved. And then for a couple months, I was just customizing my site and getting things ready. And from there, it just started growing with this Amazon platform. So it's been really
Wow.
cool. Yeah.
So in other words, you didn't even have to know much about marketing, right?
Not really. A lot of everything I know is just from me being on social media, me
Yeah.
being a consumer, knowing what people like to see, and just learning from people like YouTube videos and blogs. A lot of people will give you advice and things on how to market your
I
products.
see. And like free advice, you're not hiring big fancy consultants.
No, just learning as I go, really.
So it's amazing with little money, no fancy degrees or whatever, and just desire. And actually, the biggest desire was not to stay in that job anymore, right?
Exactly right.
That's a great motivator. I mean, that's
Yeah,
how I always felt, when I was your age. Boy, every job after 6 months, it just felt like jail. And
exactly.
and that's what excites me now, it seems, in our economy with e-commerce. Man, anybody could start their own business. You don't have to have a store. You don't have to have all this kind of stuff. People bring a business.
Right. Yeah,
So,
business from all over the country, not just your little town. So
yeah.
it's
Yeah,
great.
and it's sort of like before everybody wanted to get in mass merchandising, so you had to have a product and you're trying to get it in Walmart or something like that for the masses. Now, instead of mass merchandising, it's masses of markets. And the internet makes that happen. It's like being in the biggest mall in the world, isn't it?
Exactly. And it's just you'll start seeing orders from, just everywhere. And it's just great to get your products out. And you didn't even have to have a storefront. You can just do it from your home.
And now more thing, like so exciting! This weekend you're running off to Vegas to get married.
Yes, actually, we're leaving tomorrow. And then on, Sunday, we're going to be married. So a whole bunch of changes for 2016.
Wow! And you can take your business with you. Throw your laptop in your purse, and
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to stock up on Amazon and send everything to the warehouse. And then just from my laptop in Vegas, I can run my business.
well, that's wonderful. How about your family? When you first talked about it, what did they say? Did they think you were crazy and keep that secure job?
My family's very supportive. I didn't, because I'm always doing new things, but
Uh-huh.
I didn't think when I told them that they were very like, oh, they didn't think it was going to turn into a full-time job or anything. They just probably thought it was like a pastime or something. But as they started seeing me grow and things, it
Wow.
really was like, oh, she's doing bigger things on the internet.
Yeah. Ah. So are they jealous now? They want to start their own business?
No, they're not jealous, but they're very supportive. They're always sharing my things on Facebook
Very
and
wonderful.
getting their friends to buy things as well. So it's been they enjoy seeing
Yeah.
the
It's fun.
entrepreneurial side of it. So
Right. No, it's fun to watch people succeed and appreciate it and
yeah,
show them love for that. And then what you're really doing is loving yourself by doing something you want to do. And you probably work harder at this than you ever did in that cubicle, huh?
yeah. I mean, I can wake up at 9 a.m. and just be working until like 11, and it doesn't feel like work. It's because I enjoy it.
Wow!
Yeah,
9 to 11, it's not even work.
it doesn't feel like work at all. It's fine.
Well, that's wonderful, Tiana. And so it's the best place is windingwickcandle.com, right?
Right. Yes.
And that will take you to Amazon or anywhere else you are.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful gift for people in their own house. Wonderful scents. And you have some kind of sprays. I got to try that. That sort of sounds nice. What are
Yeah, I
they?
do have like room sprays that I do also. They're just like essential oils and things like
Uh-huh.
that. Just something to freshen up
Fragrance in the
rooms.
room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got a lot of rooms that need that. So I'll be online soon and windingwickcandle.com. Thank you for inspiring the rest of us.
Thank you.
Okay, what do you do when you lose your job in a down economy? you create your own. Yeah, I mean, if the job market is tight out there and nobody's hiring or whatever, man, it's so easy to create your own job. That's what this next interview is about. This fella was like in the real estate related business, and when 2008 hit, he had to do something. He's not a young guy, not real old to retire or anything. He was in the middle there and had to do something. And so something he was interested in was engraving, like wood engraving. And so we started a business. One of these websites, that do everything for you and don't charge money. See, that's the other important thing. If you're trying to start a business and you're giving money to people to start a business, man, that's the quickest way to go out of business. Because you don't know what works. They don't know what works. They think that you know what works, so they're going to sell you something that you think works, but you don't know yet. You don't know until you do it. That's the thing in life. You have to try it first to see if it works. And if you're spending money trying everything, then you're going to run out of money. Like me, I've written 100 books. Only 10 have made money. So I failed 90% of the time. And I think that's what life is all about, is failing. But that's okay. Because nobody knows what's working. It's a whole new system out there. It's a whole new world, a new economy and everything. And it's on the internet. It doesn't work like it used to. The old gatekeepers aren't there. If you had an idea to sell something, you'd have to go to stores and find out, hey, will you put this in your store? You'd have to go around knocking on doors. No, you go to these platforms. Amazon costs nothing to put a store in. Etsy, it costs nothing to put a store in. These kinds of things where you could set up stores for 20 cents. Then you're there. Whether it's like the biggest shopping mall in the world, but it costs you nothing. Then you find out if it works, and that's what takes time. You have to fail. This won't work, that won't work. See, they'll handle things like accounting and payroll and collecting money and credit cards and all that kind of stuff they're set up for. And they just click a switch and you don't have to learn all that kind of stuff yourself. What you do have to learn is the market. What are people buying? Why do they buy it? How do they buy it and everything? And the best way to learn is trial by error. So don't try to be judging. Go out and do market studies for people. Maybe that'll help. But no, it's cheaper to start a business instead of a market study. You make one product. Hey, I want to sell this. Here it is. Will you buy it? Everyone's saying no. Then you got to change. If you go out and say, hey, your friends and relatives, hey, would you buy this? This kind of cup or whatever. And they're polite and they may say yes, so encourage you. Or even if they say yes and they really mean it, or they probably don't mean it because they won't buy that stuff. Or even if they said no, they're not your customer anyway. So you got to find out where your customer is, and that may take you some time. That's why you need time more than anything else. And that's why if you choose an idea or product that you want to be there, you want to do this stuff. There's platforms. You want to teach. Okay, there's platforms out there where you can instruct people. Put up your course. People pay money for it. So all of a sudden you're a teacher. It takes you a couple hours, a couple days, or whatever it is to prepare the lesson and put it up there. Now you have a product. See if anybody, they don't, well then try another one. That's what life is. When you go, trying to date, you don't, ask one woman or something and expect to get married. No, that happens maybe, but maybe happens more often with the internet, but people I talk to don't. They go through a lot of people, right? So all of life is that way. And even when they get married, they only have a 50% chance of success, right? So don't worry about failing. Man, the most important thing we probably do in our life, important is marry somebody, and we're only half right half the time, or half the people are right, or however you want to say that. But with a 50% divorce rate, we're wrong. So why not the rest of your life like that? Try it, see what happens, see if you're wrong. It's not like a divorce because you don't have to, only if you sunk a lot of money in it, only if you had, loans, only if you have a partner and all that kind of stuff. Then it's a divorce and painful. But if you're not doing with somebody else's money, you just try and see now it's possible. So watch this interview. See how people are doing it nowadays. So you can too. Well, Tony Taylor, and you're part of TaylorCraftsEngraved.com, I guess, right?
Yeah, soon to be engraved cutting boards.com.
Soon to be what? Engraved what?
EngravedCuttingBoards.com.
Caddy ports?
No, Engraved Cutting Boards.
Oh, cutting boards. Oh, okay, right. It says Skype. We've been screwing around with Skype for a half hour before we got live here. so engraved cutting boards. Okay, so Taylor and Crafts, and that's you and your partner's last names together. It sounds like a craft business, but it's Belinda Craft.
Got really good that way for us.
Yeah. Well, how'd you get into this? I mean, what you make is custom design cutting boards. So, I mean, all this plastic crap I got in my kitchen to cut on, I could have a nice wooden cutting board with a big question mark on it or something, right?
Or your name or whatever you want.
Wow.
It's kind of a funny story. My business partner and I, we were on the 20th reunion committee for our high school, and it happened to be about the same time the housing downturn was happening. So I was working in the housing industry as a purchaser and estimator. She happened to know that our company was closing. Said she kind of had a little bit of a business she'd been playing around with, wanted to know if we'd be interested in going into business together.
Wow.
We did, and for the first year, we really kind of just tried to find something that would stick, just tried to kind of find our niche, as it were. As it so happened, she had a relative who had a wedding coming up. We had this laser engraver, and we said, well, what if we engraved a cutting board? And I believe our first one actually came from IKEA, believe it or not.
You mean the wood came from IKEA and then you just put something on it?
The first cutting board, I believe, came from IKEA, but then we kind of looked at it and said, hey, we're onto something here. This is beautiful, this is functional, this is personal.
Yeah.
So I started kind of using my old housing industry contacts to find a mill who'd be willing to supply us with the boards.
I see.
The rest, they say, is history.
So now, why did you have a laser cutter? I mean, this is like a 3D printer laser cutter kind of thing, or what?
It's a laser engraver.
Uh-huh.
We've actually gone from 1 to 6, but we did start out with 1. She actually originally tried sandblasting. She was very involved in wanting to create kind of loving memorials. She was looking at possibly doing like the stones engraved with the pet's name.
I see.
But sandblasting in Utah during winter is not.
So she had one of these around anyway when you guys got together?
She had the sandblasting equipment, and then as we were kind of talking about it, we've been talking about the laser engraver, and she decided to take out a second loan on her house. For the laser engraver, just so we could do so much more things.
Yeah. So, I mean, how much is a laser engraver? I mean, like 10 grand or something for these things? Or?
Generally, anywhere from 15 to 45, depending upon what
Wow, no kidding. So, but you could probably, I guess, go and if you wanted to test an idea, you could probably borrow one or rent one or something like that, or not?
I believe there are places where you can hire out time on.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
type places.
Right. At a maker's workshop or something like that. They probably. So you got it by accident because of wedding, and now, man, I looked at your Etsy store and you got hundreds of items on there that people now buy.
We sell anywhere from 20 to 50 a day, depending.
Wow, no kidding. And so as you grew, you got hooked up with somebody who who makes wood for you, right? And you're in their space?
We started out in the back room of her house, and we were just ordering boards from this mill. As we started to grow, we kind of took over the whole first floor of her house. That wasn't going to work very long. We moved into the mill where we were ordering boards from. Outgrew that within a year. Ended up renting our own space. Outgrew that one. Then ended up into a much larger one now. We've been there for 2 years.
Wow. So it looks like you guys are making you're able to survive and make a living out of this thing.
That was actually originally our hope, is that we'd just be able to kind of like make a living for the two of us.
Right.
As we kind of went along, we got busier and busier. We now have 6 employees.
Wow.
Out of our own woodworking. We have a designer on staff. We have someone handling the shipping department.
Wonderful. So you're creating jobs in Utah. See, the government must love you.
We would hope so.
Yeah. Now, if they just quit collecting taxes, everything would be great, right?
Business owners.
Yeah. So you went from just trying to feed yourself, now you're feeding 6 other people with it. And actually, I guess you were both on payrolls before, and now you have your own business, right?
Yeah. We take care of ourselves and our employees, plus we now have, instead of just one wood supplier, we actually work with about 4 different ones. They've all expanded as well. So
wow.
We're responsible for those jobs.
Wow, that's amazing. So you're a multi whatever business already. Now, what do you think that you said she sort of was fooling around with the business idea. You didn't sound like you had a business before. This is your first business, huh?
This is my first business, and with a partnership, it's always kind of good because you come at things from 2 different angles.
Yeah.
Linda has a great creative mind. She comes up with a lot of good ideas, a lot of our new products, a lot of our new designs. I kind of have more of a functional background, so I have a lot of the operational know-how.
I see.
So there's kind of the division right there.
I see. So you're just the pretty face, and she's the brains behind the operation, huh?
Yeah.
well, as a first-time entrepreneur kind of thing, what surprised you about, starting something like this?
I think there's always a lot of things that you don't consider as you're moving forward. We've been fortunate in that we've been able to kind of learn on the job, not just with the engraving, but in kind of becoming a business owner, how to work out our supply issues. You never really know what you don't know until you start.
Right.
I think the biggest thing for us, truthfully, was other than that initial loan, we've managed to grow without really taking.
I see. Oh, wonderful.
So Belinda's been very shrewd financially in how she's planned out things, and it's a joy. I'm made to behold.
Wonderful. Well, that's it. So, in other words, there's, instead of knowing everything ahead of time, you just learn as you go, huh?
Exactly. I just dive in with both feet and kind of...
and you just hope you float.
Of the fact that so many businesses fail when they started out, and so we always try. I think for the first year, we were just trying to find a product, and then even as things started to take off, we didn't really pay ourselves. We just kept putting that money into the business. I was going to school at the time. Belinda had other things going on, so we didn't have to make it to where we were dependent on it. We were able to kind of just nurture it and make it grow.
Well, wonderful. Well, Tony, this is wonderful to talk to you, and you're an inspiration to everybody else who gets cut out of a job or hates their job or whatever. You can do something you don't have any idea how to do it, and just do it, right?
Exactly. I'd say just find something that you enjoy doing and run with it.
Yeah, you'll figure it out along the way. And to find you, it's taylorcraftsengraved.com or go to etsy.com and find all your products there, right?
Etsy is our current store. We do have a new website in the works we hope to have up soon. taylorcraftsengraved.com has a little bit of our stuff right now, but this new one should be online within the next 30 days.
Okay. So right now, in 30 days. Oh, great. And that new website will be called what?
It will actually be engravedcuttingboards.com.
Engravedcuttingboards.com. And there you find Tony and Belinda, who gave up their old jobs because the jobs didn't want them, and now they have something better. Take care, Tony. Nice to talk to you. Good luck to you out there in the snow in Utah.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, look at this couple. Now, they have a good-sized business down in Austin now. And they started it really as a result of a family or personal tragedy. They lost a child in childbirth and the hospital, and she was recovering, under bed rest. So she started knitting, and making baby socks or whatever. And then they decided, hey, let's put it on the internet and see what happens. Man, instantly they got
400 orders, man. That sounds like when I was my heyday of having New York Times bestsellers. But they just got it themselves on the internet, and it cost them like $12 to get that far. That's it. So now you have all these orders or whatever, to start a whole business. And now, boy, you watch the internet, how happy they are doing this. And they're figuring it all out as they go along. There's no magic in life anymore. The tools are out there. It may take you time to learn. You're not going to be an instant millionaire or whatever kinds of thing. That may happen, and then you call me because I'll certainly do an interview with you. But most of us are going to have to struggle. But they don't need money. You don't need expertise. You have to have the desire and the heart, and that's what it's all about. Now, this is something that they really want to do. This woman just loves fashion, loves things, so it's not any baby wear. Now they're in the women's clothes, and it's all online. And that's what's so neat. All the opportunities now, the growth is going to be online. You're not going to open up a new chain of stores. I mean, that'll happen, but that's not where the growth is. There's millions of new stores opening up online. What's happening now, too, is that we no longer have mass market. We have masses of markets. Like everybody, when I was, my businesses were growing, I wanted to get in Walmart and things like that because that was the biggest thing and whatever. Now, Walmart's shrinking. They're closing stores because nobody wants to go to the mall anymore and get the same thing everybody else is. They want niche stuff. So that's why all these people with, just unique ideas now have a place to go and cost money to show them, and raise money and get customers. You don't need 5 million customers. You maybe need 50, maybe you need 500. Well, you certainly can find 500 people on the internet who likes the same, who's as crazy as you are about something. That's what's neat. You don't have to have a big shopping mall to be in. You have websites that millions of people come to every day looking for stuff. So all you need is a few of them, very few. See, these big organizations and big retailers, they need millions of people, millions of dollars, billions, and all this kind of stuff. That's why when they say your product is nonsense, we can't put it in our store, because they want it to appeal to everybody. And very few of us are that good to know something that could appeal to everybody. But you have something that could appeal to a couple hundred people, right? You just have to find those couple hundred people. And see, it doesn't cost any money to do that. Just start learning the system. Start learning the tools that are available. And you can teach yourself their tools, or just don't pay a lot of money. Don't go to classes that are going to cost you $500, $1,000 to do this. Your local librarian will even help you. Because I support libraries now that let you come in and they'll work with you one-on-one to start up stores on the internet for free. So if you Google that help, you're going to get somebody who's going to charge you a lot of money. You don't. If you have money, God bless you. Pay them, I don't care. But if you don't, you don't have to pay people. And you can learn. You can get that expertise nowadays. It is out there. You just have to be curious enough to believe it's there. That's what it is. Believing the health is there. Because if you don't believe it's there, man, you're going to stop the first roadblock. See, and the key to life is getting over those roadblocks, which means you just keep going. You don't know any different, right? So watch this interview. Okay, well, Rick and Melissa Hennett of GraceandLace.com. Now, the first thing, Rick, I gotta say, you got a big macho football shirt in the background there, and you have a 3-day growth. How the hell did you get involved with Grace and Lace?
I never expected to be in women's apparel. That we call an accidental company. We were not planning to get into it, but we're here, and the journey's pretty incredible.
Well, you were saying before we went on the air, Melissa, that you were knitting these. You had a bad experience losing a child, I guess during birth in a hospital, and you were knitting little booties. Was that it?
A pair of socks. While I was on bed rest during the emergency situation, the only thing I could do was work with my hands. So that's where I picked up a skill that I had learned in the past. And I actually, while I was on bed rest, was making baby blankets. and the loss of our daughter that, really produced the inspiration and the love for knit. So it wasn't until a while after her loss that I made my first pair of boot socks, and that's what.
I see. But and so, as you were saying before, Rick, that it costs about $15 to make those socks. Put them on the web. You got 400 orders in just a few minutes or whatever, something like that.
Instantly.
Wow!
About a 48-hour period before.
Wow!
400 order requests, but
wow! Was that a
plan on starting anything, and it just exploded out of nowhere?
Was that a Kickstarter campaign kind of thing, or what?
No.
No, just a normal website, huh?
Yep.
Wow! And now, what kind of things do you carry on GraceandLace.com?
We make all kinds of women's apparel now. Everything from, the business started with lace tops, boot socks, and leg warmers, but now I make a full line of women's apparel and children's clothing as well.
Ah, so all the clothing, is it handmade like yours, or is it manufactured now? You're so big.
No, our business is so big now. We started out handmade, but with the volume of sales that we do now, now I have me and a design team do all the designing, but it's all mass produced to make our volume.
I see. Wonderful. So how is it? I mean, being a couple and it's tough. Anybody living with anybody else is tough today, but just in personal relationships. But now businesses, to put that in the mix, what does that do to your relationship?
I think it's drawn us closer together, believe it or not. My wife is so incredibly talented, and she really compliments me because she's gifted in areas that I'm not, and vice versa. So we make an incredible business team. I love being in business with her. We do have some passionate disagreements from time to time. Come back together, and I really rely on her and trust her expertise, and I think that she does the same with me. So it works out pretty amazing.
So when you started the business, after that 400, did you go out and raise venture capital and stuff like that, or how'd you grow this thing financially? No, we actually used the profits of the business. Uh-huh.
Melissa, again, is so brilliant that she pre-sold a lot of the.
I see.
So we didn't have to get ourselves in a situation where we had to put a lot of money into it, because we knew exactly what we needed because she pre-sold the product.
Wow. So in other words, you booty strapped it. Right. well, that's wonderful. And pre-selling it, and that's what people do. They buy things before they get them now. You can go walk into department stores and say, hey, I'll buy this and pick it up next month. But you do on the internet, don't you?
Yes, you do.
Yeah, so you have money now to grow your business. Right? So as it gets bigger, do you feel you're growing further apart? Because now you got to run production, you got to run marketing, and you don't talk much?
No, we have a good delineation of roles and responsibilities. Rick is really good at the business side and managing sales and projections, and I'm the creative mind, and those two go hand in hand to operate a business. So. And
Matthew, we've got a phenomenal workforce.
Yeah.
Our staff, our team is just absolutely incredible. So that really allows us to flourish and
I see.
Go do their thing, and they flourish too.
Yeah. No, the best employees are the ones that don't take management.
We do management. We don't micromanage.
Right. So do you have like a normal office style stuff, or is everybody in your house now?
Oh,
no. That would be crazy.
We have about 36 to 40 employees.
Wow.
So we run a full office and warehouse. In fact, we just built our brand new, we're about to finish a brand new custom warehouse for our just exploding growth. So.
Wow. Well, you have wonderful problems, don't you? All these sales, the customers are in the way every day, and all this kind of stuff. And you got to figure out what to do with the money, and oh my God, I feel my heart goes out to you for all these problems. Well, that's wonderful to hear the success story, and it can be done, without a little money, and you darn something up, and 400 orders in a couple hours, and wonderful. Well, you're a delightful couple, and thanks for doing this and sharing it with the rest of us and inspiring us that we can do that too. And to see how you do it and the neat stuff, graceandlace.com. Now, which one is the lace? Which one is the grace? She's both, huh?
She is the grace and the lace.
The name of our business came from the tagline, made with his grace and a little bit of lace.
Ah, I see.
That's where it came from, and so kind of just stuck.
And you add his silly face, and now you got a trifecta. Wonderful, guys. Thank you so much. Good luck to you. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.